Welcome to the TNC Random Fandom podcast. We are here to have fun and talk all things pop culture, collecting, and nerd culture in general. Make sure you join the conversation during our live stream with our most excellent hosts, Craig Borden and Tommy Mock. Let the shenanigans begin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to TNC Random Fandom. I am your host, Craig Borden, and we have a hell of a rock and roll road trip that we're going to talk about today. Tommy Mock, my buddy, road trip friend. What the hell are we doing, buddy?
Oh, well, come on now. If you haven't seen any of the promo stuff that you put out or the like 2-hour promo that I put in, we're talking about our trip to Billy Idol.
Yep.
Maybe we should well, you know what, before we get into it, how you been, dude? What's going on?
I know, after spending literally almost 48 hours with each other, including being trapped on a train, it's been, we haven't had a chance to really catch up and chit-chat. You're moving. I've been all over the place for other reasons, too, and it's just been crazy. But, yes, all things are good, Tommy. So, how's the move and everything going? You going crazy yet?
Well, we are in that planning phase now. We're looking at bringing stuff, packing, boxes up and bringing things over, but we are going to have movers come and pack up the big stuff. Then that's probably going to happen within the next week or so, but we got basically, we gave ourselves a timeline of October 1st. Hopefully everything goes smoothly with the closing of our house that we sold here in Canandaigua. And we're going to be Fearportians. Is it Fearportians or Fear Portions? I still don't know what it is, but
Fearportians. Graduated as one of those goofballs. So, on that note, Tommy, I'm wearing all my swag. I got my Billy Idol shirt on, and
Nice.
I have, after I was with you, that I went to the Friday night baseball game at the Rochester Red Wings, which was one of the first white hot nights. So this is a Rochester white hot on this hat. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear all the swag today.
Only in Rochester.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody else that's listening to this in any level of ballpark not here in Rochester, a white hot is just an odd hot dog. It's more pork than it is beef. So that's kind of what it gets to. It's still delicious. So, Tommy, I think you got to give anybody that is out in the listening world the how the heck we actually started with this rock and roll road trip here and the wonderful gift that your wife was able to, bestow on me.
That's a good one. I was actually going to mention that. So those of you who follow us and have been fans of the show for I guess since we've started, everybody knows that back in April, Karen and I, we went to New York City to go and see a few shows and everything. And long story short, I had said, you know what, let's see if we can get on one of these, talk shows like Jimmy Fallon or something like that. And everybody knows that those tickets are free. You get picked. And since Karen did the initial research and got the tickets, they actually reached out to her. The Drew Barrymore show reached out to her and said, hey, would you like to be on screen and answer a trivia question about a guest and to win some really cool prizes? She's like, I'm not going to do that. But I was like, well, maybe I can do it. So she handed me the keys and I went driving basically. And long story short, we were on the Drew Barrymore show in April. Did you just talk? I can't hear you.
Thankfully, you didn't hit a bridge abutment while you were driving that or anything. You just took that ship right to where it needed to go.
Yep. So it just so happened to be that the guest was a surprise guest of the Drew Barrymore show, and it was Billy Idol. And I was going to answer a question about Billy Idol. And the question was, what U.S. national landmark did Billy Idol perform at? And the answer was Hoover Dam, which actually he's doing a documentary, I believe, on it. But anyways, so won the tickets, Madison Square Garden, backstage meet and greet kind of thing, photo opportunity. Still haven't gotten the photos yet. I've been looking like every day. But awesome time. So Karen, because this is the long or the busy time of year for her at college with all the students coming in and everything. Basically said she couldn't go, which was a bummer, but obviously she knows that Craig is a music lover, a music fan, and happens to be yet another Billy Idol fan. And he graciously said, "Yes, I will go." And so started our journey. And what is going on with my? Ooh, can you hear that?
Picking up some random homework from your other job there, Tommy, in the RF world.
Yeah. Horrible.
I love how it sounded like an old asteroids machine.
I know, right?
And then there's a strange feeling that whatever feedback you just incidentally caused is actually how they might have made that noise back for the asteroids machine.
This makes such great podcast right now. I'm telling you right now. But anyways, so I did the
You were saying
research.
about Karen.
So I did the research. I booked us a hotel that, as it turned out, was like not even a minute away from Madison Square Garden, and we took the Amtrak from Rochester down to Penn Station. And obviously, people who know, Penn Station is right underneath Madison Square Garden. So it was like a one-stop shop. It was fantastic. So I'm going to stop talking. You go ahead and take up from there, Gregory.
On that note, so first off, once again, thank your lovely wife for the concert tickets. I am in the midst of 3D printing an army of little planter things for your but this came out really nice. It's the first time I've ever used this plastic. It's actually got like not dirt in it, but it's meant to like look like that, and so is the rest of this here. So I got some kind of spacey things coming to match that.
Is that a holder for it?
Yeah, that's a little like you set it on it, and then it's got the planter on the top of it. So
nice.
Kind of nifty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and there'll be more gifts coming, but I'm not going to ruin them all on the show. That was just the one you asked for.
That's the one she put out.
Yeah, 3D printing nerd. I got the podcast logo for the Blue Jay thing actually in the printer behind Billy Idol here right now as we speak. But on that note, Tommy, it was a great time. I couldn't say that the train ride went well. You and I got to chit chat, catch up on many of multitudes of things, including planning our little podcasting empire that we have going on here. And then I don't think we left like a city block in New York City because of that train booking that you had, where you had the hotel and everything. We were like within the same city block. And I think the only reason we technically didn't leave the block is where Madison Square Garden sits is physically a damn big block. But I don't know if you left this out or I'm just casually blissful and I didn't notice this piece of this whole thing, but when you said we were going, you said, the VIP thing and everything. I never put together that was the actually take the picture and meet Billy Idol for a, hey, how you doing? And walking out until you handed me the actual backstage pass.
Really?
No, I don't know if I ever put two and two together. And I wanted to hold that note for this exact moment that we were on here, because I was like, am I this stupid, or did he not say this part? Because I remember you saying something about me and Steve Stevens, but not anything about Billy Idol. So I was like, okay, those are two different things, and we got to meet both of them I will say this, Tommy, I am very glad you got those tickets for free because the word meet and greet is very askew for a concert.
Right.
So
and I have to say that, and for those of you who think that we got to just like sit out and like sat backstage and did like a Wayne's World moment where we were, discussing, Native American tongue and languages and stuff.
And socialist mayors.
But no, it's literally like a cattle car. It's those kinds of things that you pay the extra money and basically you just get herded in like cattle. You go in, and in some instances you get to shake hands and stuff like that. But at this point in time, they didn't give us. They said that they needed to do social distancing because there was a COVID uptake. Which if you look at the CDC and you listen to what's going on, that there is very COVID's still around and still going up and stuff like that. So, anyways. So we got to see them and we got to say, hey, great. And they were, and Billy was very gracious. Thank you for coming out and everything. But we took a picture with them, but we had this crate between us because basically we couldn't, we couldn't shake hands or anything like that. And we couldn't, profess
No fist bumps.
our love for his music or anything like that. But either way, I mean, so remember, unless you get something that specifically says you get to hang out with the band backstage, a photo meet and greet is basically that it. You get to say hi and you get to take a picture and then you get the hell out. But you get
not the one part. It was, hey, snap picture, bye, swag bag.
Right. Okay. Right. So the swag bag. So if you look behind Craig, I didn't pull mine out, but if you look behind Craig,
Anna White,
we got the laminate and we got his new album and it was autographed. And for those of you who haven't heard his new album, it's flipping fantastic. It's Billy Idol all day, every day. So good to go. Oh, wait a minute. We got somebody up on the big screen here. Cosmic Seed.
Loving the story so far, and apparently my vinyl is very nice, or my
Oh.
Just kidding.
Oh. Was that better than vinyl?
There we go. It's all back in form now. Thank you, Cosmic Seeds.
Thank you, Cosmic Seeds. Thank you for listening. But so yeah, that's basically what it was. But I if you've seen any of my posts, you know that I have been extremely grateful, and I thanked the Drew Barrymore probably about 1 million times over. That reminds me, I'm going to send a text over to producer Sharon, who
with the show, I
hope. Producer Sharon from the Drew Barrymore Show, thank you. But I'm going to send you a text and say thank you again. And hopefully maybe they'll have us on the show again and talk about our experience. But who knows? That's neither here nor there. But anyways,
exactly.
So
but I thought it was really cool that he actually played some of those new songs, and they rocked live. I was very impressed. He started the whole show off with it. Still Dancing was a great song that he started off with, I believe, was the one that he played, and then he did the one with that he did with Avril Lavigne.
77
on the album as well.
Yeah,
77 and then all the classics, including a few surprises that I'm sure we'll talk about here in a few minutes. So on that note, Tommy, you have done a lot of rock and roll road trips. I've done a lot of rock and roll road trips. If you were going to pick like the band that you were live or dead or anybody, is there somebody that you would just die to go see and get the whole experience like we got at Madison Square Garden this weekend?
So I know we've talked about this before, and this also kind of went along the lines of our episode when we talked about celebrities who have passed away that actually kind of had an effect on us. And I know this is kind of way out of the realm of rock and roll, but Jimmy Buffett for me is actually is one of those people that if I had the opportunity to see him live and actually get to just be in his presence, to me that would be a godsend. But because the whole lifestyle, and as I've gotten older, I've learned that sometimes you need to chill a little bit and just stop and smell the roses, or the sea breeze, if you will. What about you?
Or just have a little Mas Tequila or whatever it might be. Coconut Paradise. So, but yeah, I've always wanted to see AC/DC, and I've never gotten that opportunity to go see them. That would be like if I was going to see somebody at the Garden that was just like they're going to rock and blow the roof off of it. It would probably be somebody like AC/DC that I'm looking forward to see, or to somehow go back to the 80s and just say, hey, let's just go see the beginning of Van Halen when they were in, when David Lee Roth actually sounded like somebody that could actually have musical talent.
Somebody's uncle doing karaoke.
Oh, karaoke people might be doing better service to Van Halen these days than David Lee Roth ever will. It's how bad it's gotten, as you are more than well aware of. But to that point, Tommy, those are the kind of pieces that I'm thinking. Go ahead.
So Cosmic Seeds comes in again and says, I have a Billy Idol platinum sales record from his Vital Idol album and cassette. Rock, you know what? Hey,
Awesome.
if you're on Instagram there, Cosmic Seeds, why don't you post that or send us a picture of that? We'd love to see it. We'd love to post it and everything.
Yeah. Share it.
Oh, Cosmic Seed also says, now, are you saying that Van Halen at the Viper Room somehow, or is that, did you actually see that, or is that something that you wanted to see?
The dream.
But as far as I know, so out of all of the places that you've been, as far as rock and roll road trips that you've actually done, which one would you say was probably the pinnacle of like, I purposely went on this trip just to see this band?
It was just funny enough. This is actually the first concert you took Jocelyn to, and I drove all the way to Pittsburgh for that show for Ozfest, and that was just the bill of all bills, the card of all cards. Not only do you have Ozzy headlining with it, I got to see Black Label Society, Ron Halford, Motley Crue, everybody in that show, and it was just incredible. I was so happy and so fortunate that I was able to, first off, have my gallbladder taken out 2 days before that show and then still be able to go and actually live up to going and surviving that, I'll just say lack of pit and everything that was going on and everything like that. Would literally look like somebody played tic-tac-toe across my stomach.
Are you still going off about the gallbladder? I mean, let it go. It's years. It's been years now. Let it go.
It was part of it. That was just that. It was just so funny. I was like, it's like, I'm not going to be able to go. I'm going. I don't care what anybody tells me to do. That was the point. Against doctor's orders.
Cosmic Seed says that the Van Halen and Viper Room would be a dream show for him. You know what? I would agree. What was it? Was it last year? No, it was earlier this year when Kieran and I went to California, and I actually got a chance to walk down, the strip where the Whiskey's at and the Viper Room. I mean, they're literally kitty corner to each other. All of the places that all of the bands that we used to love and idolize got their, they basically cut their teeth at. So like the Whiskey A Go Go, the Viper Room, which is also where River Phoenix was pronounced dead. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Any opportunity to see some of the bands when they first came out, when they were still hungry and living out of a shoebox basically, and
a band down by the river.
In a van down by the river.
Or just like even hearing like the stories you heard if you read The Dirt or seen the movie that they did on Netflix. The beginning of that movie shows a depiction of the Motley House, and it was a little crazy.
So we had this. So going back to Billy Idol.
Yes.
So I had the opportunity to see Joan Jett once before, and they opened up for Def Leppard, and everybody knows Def Leppard is my band. They're my end all be all, and I actually saw them this year as well, which was my 16th time. But we'll get back to that. But and I have to say the venue, Madison Square Garden, because it's a dome, it's a big, it's dark, so you don't have that like daylight opener where they have like effects and nothing looks right, gets washed out because it's still daylight. But in that dark dome and getting to see all of her graphics and everything that she had up there, fantastic. And she sounds flippin' amazing. So if you've never had an opportunity to see, or I should say, if you ever have an opportunity to see Joan Jett, see her live, she is freaking fantastic. What say you,
sounded
Craig?
incredible. I've seen her before. Funny enough, God, I think it was 2015. I was down in Clearwater hanging out with friends and family and everything like that, and they were like, "Hey, it's the last night. Let's go to the ball game." So we drove to the Tampa Bay Rays game, and they happened to be playing the Blue Jays, but it was also 80s night. So the game was gonna go, and then after the game, they had a band, and the band was Joan Jett. So I saw her back in 2015 in another dome right there in where the Tampa Bay Rays called home for the longest time until their unfortunate recent history with the hurricane and everything wrecking their current ballpark. But she was incredible then, and she sounded just as good as I saw her the first time, Tommy. Just crisp, clean. She's like Ozzy to me. She's the female form of it, because when you hear her talk, it's very hard to understand what she's saying with the accent and everything. And then you hear her sing, and it's just like, oh my God, is this the same person? And she sounded incredible, from Bad Reputation to I Love Rock and Roll and every punk rock thing and in between. It was incredible to hear her live like that in that arena again.
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, Joan Jett, to me, punk rock royalty from the Runaways to her being a solo artist. Friggin' fantastic. And that's an artist who you can honestly say that she set out to be something, and that's what she was. She wanted to be straight up punk rock, fist in your face, and she still does it, and she's still putting it out there. And she, you know what? If she was related to me, I'd be like, you know who my aunt is, or you know who my grandma is. I'm not going to try. I'm not being mean. She is older than me, and but okay, you know what? She's probably old enough to be my older sister.
Well, Billy's 72, so, or 70 almost. So
No,
there
yeah,
is that.
69. He's 69.
So, but to that point, the one thing I didn't notice, and they both referenced this, but I was surprised that there was not like a meeting in the midst of this whole thing. That they used to play with each other, like off, in New York while they were both living there. You could hear, Joan Jett mentioned a story about, just recording with him and doing some stuff. She's on the new album. And that was something that was previously done too. And then Billy referenced that at the end of the show when we were, they were wrapping up and everything too. So, and then of course, all the other wonderful stories you hear on a live show, like where Rebel Yell came from. So, but really, really cool stuff that Joan Jett is still doing such a great job and still recording and doing everything that she's doing, touring. She was here in Rochester, like literally 2 nights before that too. Or in Saratoga or something like that too. So
she was by herself, right? She was headlining.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. But I love that people that have that kind of talent and can still go out and do it, and they still go out there clearly doing something they love. They get to do it every night, and they get to keep doing it. So props to Joan Jett, props to Billy Idol. Incredible show all the way around.
Yeah. So you and I, when we were talking about it, we were actually at Penn Station the day after, and we were having breakfast, and we were talking about, just how in awe, and just and to be perfectly honest with you, forgetting about some of these songs and how great they sound. Like I was cranking Flesh for Fantasy again in the Jeep, just blaring it, because I forgot how great that song is, how much I loved that song.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I'm gonna have to start digging into my my karaoke repertoire and start practicing that one.
Before it got down to like being cold all of a sudden here again in Rochester, because the end of last week it was starting to, feeling like it might stay hot for like one more damn day. But I was at work and it was just blazing hot in my office, and I'm playing Billy Idol, and Hot in the City came on, and I was like, oh my God, that's too fitting right now. And I had forgotten about that song completely. Just it's so like bluesy, riffy, punk kind of like tossed into it. It's it's a great tune. Just like you're talking about with Flesh for Fantasy. That album's been up on my wall for a million years. I love Rebel Yell. And that album has got so many hits on it. That one almost gets lost on it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's just one of those. It's actually a really smooth, kind of groovy song until you get to the chorus, and then it's just like flesh, fantasy.
Yeah. And it's such an 80s song as far as those vibes and everything goes. You can like picture the weird, like almost like White Snake X like music video that they had going on with it and all that kind of good stuff.
You know, the funny thing is that the Billy Idol sound is attributed to pretty much Steve Stevens' guitar work. I mean, you know, Billy Idol's still Billy Idol, and you can tell a Billy Idol song by his voice. However, you also can tell a Billy Idol song by Steve Stevens because he's been his longtime guitar player forever and a day, and he's still freaking doing it with them. And I'm going to tell you right now, Steve Stevens, so good. Dude, dude. So if you read my post, and I try to be like very like wordy and sound like I actually know what I'm talking about sometimes. Articulate. But I had said that, you know, he went from freaking just pure power punk riffs to like metal shredding, and then he sprinkled in a freaking some flamenco guitar in there. It's just like he came out and just I was in awe. I was just like mind blown. I was like, now that is a man who loves his work and loves what he does. And I'm kind of jealous of him and his hair, but you know,
just a little, right? How does he keep it that way? Maybe, you know, him and Nikki Sixx have that same kind of like almost like weird look like that, and it's just kind of like amusing. But
like it works. Like, okay, well, this works. Let's get some Aquanet and sprayed it in there and hold it in place. For those of you who don't know, Aquanet was actually a hairspray where they actually sprayed. Come on, what's going on with my stupid?
Now, I'm going to use that while you're fixing your microphone. But first off, thank everybody for joining us on Twitter, because it's been a fun night over here on TikTok, everything at this point. But I just fixed the TikTok feed. So if you happen to be listening, please jump back in. I didn't realize it was playing audio from another place on my laptop, just like how we're getting Tommy's Asteroids fun going on here. So we are live everywhere now, just to say it, for TNC Random Fandom.
Oh God, it's so bad. It's so bad.
It's because we have such a big budget, you know. Drew Barrymore can't finance this show on just rock and roll field trips for, you know.
No. But you know what? If Drew Barrymore wants to pay me to go to concerts for her, I will definitely do that. I'll even go to like Taylor Swift if you want me to, and I'll give you my full on, you know, review, good or bad. So before we move on, because we're actually going to be talking about other concerts that I just so happen to go to, because that's what we do here in the Mock household. We go to concerts. So what are your final thoughts about the Billy Idol concert? What I mean, from any aspect of it, what are your final takes on seeing Billy Idol live and actually being in his presence within 6 feet?
So it shocks me how good him and Joan Jett both sound at the age they are. They're, like I said, approaching their 70s, both of them. And they get running around the stage. He sounded incredible. And him and Steve Stevens are putting on a great show, great light show and everything. It was a full rock and roll production, and I was very excited and very happy that it turned out the way it did, and it sounded great. There was one thing, Tommy, that I was curious to ask you about that show, because I felt like some rock and roll etiquette might have been broken.
What's that?
It seemed like Madison Square Garden has a curfew or something, because all of a sudden it's like, okay, great, this is the show. Everybody's house lights on. There was no encore, no nothing. Just here's your stuff. Good luck. It just seemed out of place that for somebody that's veterans like Joan Jett and Billy Idol. So I was just curious what your thoughts were on that piece.
So it's funny you should say that, and I was actually going to go into that kind of thought, because that happened at another concert that I was at. But I think some of it is it's not necessarily like a noise ordinance like we would have here at CMAC or any place that has a venue that's near a residential area. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. Just checking the other feed. Sorry.
Okay. So, but God damn it, stupid thing! I have a bad setup right now, so I apologize to all the
Well, you're
listening.
moving setup.
Yeah. So, but anyways, no, but I think what it is that some people are not doing the whole encore. We're gonna leave the stage and we're gonna have you scream and clap your hands, be like, "Hey, let's go, let's have an encore!" Yay! No, they're just gonna melt your face with rock and roll from start to finish, and sprinkle in a few ballads here and there, and then they're just gonna freaking just, "Hey, thanks for coming out." Boom, done. But yeah, Madison Square Garden. But I think partially what it is that it's New York City. It's in the middle of freaking New York City, and I think they really don't necessarily want a bunch of people acting a fool. You know?
Potentially. Yep. No, I get it. It just seemed like I said it was maybe it's just something in the midst of concerts that I don't want to die like freaking lighters in the audience. You know, it's
One second.
kind of so I'm just trying to figure out those kind of things as far as what things are going to change. Totally get it. But this is one of those things that I was surprised by, I guess. It wasn't that it was a bad thing. It was just like, really? That's it. That's kind of all it was. So on that note, you back?
I have no sound right now, so go ahead and talk to the
So
listening.
anyways, as we're hearing Tommy try to fix his headphone setup, make sure you anybody in the chat, I see plenty of in there. This is your time to ask your questions, goof around with us, have a good time. I'm seeing everything on our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you happen to be listening to. I have all the visual on everything you're listening in on, so I can see and check out all your comments and go from there. So let me know what you're thinking. Obviously,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. Sorry, it's the headphones. The headphones are wonky.
Good time.
So, anyways,
go for it.
So what did I miss?
I was just saying about the put a bow on that conversation with the what's it called? Encore.
Oh yeah. So yeah, so I think I think it's just because of the venue itself, not necessarily. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, because it's self-contained, I think they could probably get as loud as they want for as long as they want. But it's I think it's more of a safety and security issue as opposed to anything else. So I think that's what it is they give you a time, which the majority of the time you have to be done by 11 o'clock at any venue, from what I understand. But most of the time it's a noise ordinance that they have to deal with outside of places like CMAC or Darien Lake or any of these other places that have residential areas within a certain mile radius of anything, of life, if you will.
Yeah. So yep. So anyways, Tommy, on that note, that's all I got on Billy and everything. But I do know you went to these other shows, and the one I'm curious to talk about first is the first one I think you went to was Heart.
Yep.
So tell us how they there you go. How they're doing still, because incredibly talented on their own, period. So go for it.
So first and foremost, I gotta say, they brought out Todd Rundgren. If anybody knows who Todd Rundgren is, he's a guy from the 70s who singer-songwriter. He had some pretty good hits out there during his heyday. I will say this, and I don't necessarily want to say anything poorly about the man. However, uh, great guitar player. He can play guitar. Band sounded tight, was good, but he cannot sing the way he used to sing, and he he was trying so hard, and and it was almost like he was trying to force a note that just was not going to come out of this man, and and to look at him, it was like he wasn't even opening his mouth when he was singing or trying to get the notes out. He would, it almost like it looked like his mouth was wired shut. So
No
everything
fun.
was kind of forced. He wasn't singing, you know, and it was kind of bad because there were some people out there, to include myself, and Karen, that wanted to hear some certain songs, especially one if people are fans of Sex in the City and the Carry On show that just came on, which was, or they had 3 seasons, called And Just Like That. This is the song. I think it's called "Hello, It's Me" or something like that. That's a Todd Rundgren song, and that's the song that was playing when Big died. So for those of you who don't know, that's the song. Or for those of you who know what I'm talking about, that's the song. So anyways, Todd Rundgren, still a great guitar player, but I think he should probably learn how to tune down and sing within his new range, not his old range. But that's just me. I sorry if I'm offending anybody. I apologize, but that's just my take on it. But anyways, Heart. I got to tell you, I am floored. I am absolutely grateful and honored to have finally got to hear Ann Wilson sing. She was mobile. They didn't wheel her out in a wheelchair or anything like that. But she sounded fantastic. I mean, obviously, the woman is a cancer survivor, and again, but sings to her limitations now. Sings to her limits. She doesn't try to hit those notes the way she used to, but she still got a voice from hell. It is ungodly how great her voice still sounds. It is 100% fantastic. Seriously, I got goosebumps right now just thinking about it, because we were supposed to see Heart last year in Cleveland, opening up for Def Leppard, and that's when she had her cancer diagnosis. And and but Craig, I'm telling you, I 100% was just in awe of hearing her sing, just being a part of that moment. I know I probably sound like a fanboy, but to me, Ann Wilson is definitely one of those voices that is a once in a lifetime generational voice, and to actually get to experience it is another thing. And then on top of that, you have her sister Nancy Wilson, who has written some of the most iconic riffs in the 70s and 80s. I mean, we're talking the riffs of is that me?
Ones we've actually talked about on this show in great detail.
Right. But I mean, we're talking Barracuda and Magic Man, and I mean, we're all these songs that just she told a story. Nancy told a story of when she was when she met Eddie Van Halen, and he told her, can you hear me? You keep holding up your phone or whatever.
Still having fun with a TikTok. Horrible.
Okay.
So I'm trying to fix it.
but she told a story of when she met Eddie Van Halen, that he came up to her and said, "You are a fantastic acoustic guitar player." And she says, "He didn't say you're a fantastic acoustic guitar player for a girl or a girl guitar player."
Anything.
And you know, and she told him, and I'm paraphrasing because I know I'm telling the story completely wrong, but you'll get the gist. Is she told him he needs to play acoustic more. And he goes, "Well, I'm not really an acoustic, player and stuff like that." And he's like, and she's like, "You know what? Hold on, I'm going to give you something." So she gave him an Ovation Celebrity, which is, I'll show you real quick.
I know you got it.
A guitar that's similar to this one. This is an Ovation Celebrity. And this is the type of guitar that she gave Eddie Van Halen. All right.
It's a beautiful guitar.
Thank you. But then he was, I guess, floored, and then he called her up in the middle of the night and said, "You need to listen to this." And he started playing stuff for her.
Now that is a rock and roll story.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So-
But they tell these stories, and they think that, I think that they're, I gotta say that I enjoyed that concert probably more than I've enjoyed a lot of other concerts that I've been to. Just for the sheer fact that, to me, I know I throw this term out, that they are rock and roll royalty, but to me, they are innovators. They are pioneers. And again, goosebumps. I absolutely love Heart. And I can die a happy man knowing that I heard Ann and Nancy play and sing, and their harmonies are flipping fantastic, by the way. So
it
yeah,
still might be one of my
there was that.
favorite covers of all time, was them doing Stairway to Heaven. And speaking of goosebumps, it's perfect.
And mind you, they did quite a few Zeppelin covers. They did Going to California. They didn't do one of my favorites, which is Immigrant Song, but again,
It's because that fucking rocks.
Anne knows her limitations with her voice right now, but I'm telling you, she didn't move much. She stayed in one place, but now here's the whole thing about the encore. She's like, we're not that kind of band that's gonna, bullshit you, and the lights, the house lights come on and we walk off the stage, and then all of a sudden the lights go back out and we come back out on stage. We're not going to do that. We're just going to keep playing until we're done playing. And they ended with Barracuda, which is, pretty standard now for their show. But I'm telling you, dude, if you have the opportunity to see Heart live in concert, please do yourself the favor. If you are a music lover, if you love, powerful vocals, I'm telling you, Ann Wilson still has the chops. And did you ever listen to the duet she did with David Draymond from Disturbed yet? Don't tell me.
I did.
Isn't that,
it was really good.
freaking good?
I looked it up on YouTube right after you did that. You told me about that like months ago. So that was awesome.
Yeah, isn't that good? It's so good. And that's her now. That's her now.
Exactly. and if you threw that in front of me and said that, hey, by the way, you really need to listen to this, I wouldn't have assumed that was Ann Wilson today.
Right.
Just
saying. I'm telling you, again, there were times when you looked at her, she did look frail, but again, she's cancer free. She is, a fighter, and she's out there freaking rocking and rolling still. And you know what? I saw I saw Phil Collin in Buffalo a while ago, when he was still touring, and it was kind of sad because he was sitting in the chair, but and his backing vocals kind of did most of the work. But yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But no, fantastic show. Can't say enough about it.
Chef's kiss.
Jeff's kiss. Mwah.
So you went to one more show literally the night following, and
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, the same venue too?
Yep, CMAC.
Yep.
CMAC.
So you went and saw a more modern one, but one that
Yes.
is deeply, deeply cut from all the roots of rock and roll that you and I are giant monster fans of in the Black Keys. Tommy, they've been a band I wanted to see. Obviously, I was a little busy over the weekend here. I would have loved to go, but that was one of those ones that I was honestly like, next time I'm doing that. What was your thoughts?
Well, again, before I start talking about the Black Keys, who were the headliners, I have to talk about their opener, Gary Clark Jr. Gary Clark Jr.
Insane.
I'm going to say it. Fucking amazing. Great guitar player. We're talking, I'm going to say it again, fucking blues rock all day long. The harmonies were freaking on point. The rhythm section was freaking holding it down. Yep. His other guitar player was freaking sharing solos with him. I mean, seriously, let me just put it to you this way. He's no Todd Rundgren because he actually sounds great.
He's also not anywhere near in the ballpark older either. But Clark Jr. He's like he's not officially, but he might as well be in the great grand son of like Jolie Hawk or the Moody Blues or any of these guys that was just so good.
Muddy Waters
on his albums. Muddy Waters, same thing. All of these bands just incredible sounding, and he has picked up that torch, and he's currently, in my opinion, the one running with it in modern blues. And he's got such a nice little flavor of rock and roll to it too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like I said, it just when listening to him, you get the feel of some. I mean, we're talking like gospel, we're talking blues, we're talking freaking shredding riff, rock and roll. I wouldn't put him in. I wouldn't lump him in some metal because it's not. I mean, we're talking blues rock all day long, slide guitar. I mean, again, everything that I was hoping to hear from Gary Clark Jr. I got and more. So
if somebody walked up to me and told me he was like Lenny Kravitz's kid, I would totally not even question it.
Right.
It's like it's that same kind of like Lenny's that same way, has that blues riff, but he can go running right into the rock and roll too. But to your point, doesn't go like full Slash and just go into the metal part of it.
Right.
But very talented. Loved since I found him and music listening and everything like that. I dove right into that catalog and been sucked completely into it. He's incredibly talented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely got the. He's got the. He definitely has got the funk in there too. But
he can do that too.
I'm telling you, that rhythm section was freaking fantastic, and being a bass player, you appreciate the aspects of a band, especially if it's the part of the band that you normally play in. So if you got somebody who's freaking just laying down a fat freaking foundation for somebody to just layer on top of, and they're holding it down, all day long.
Bang.
But again, Gary Clark Jr. Can't say enough about him. Freaking I've seen him on Saturday Night Live, and that was probably the first time that I ever really got like introduced to him, and that was probably about 5-6 years ago or so, or maybe even longer. And I was like, holy crap, this is legit.
Who's that?
Seriously, no. I love hearing something new, something that I mean, and sometimes something new to me has probably been around for a while, and I'm just now getting a taste of it, So
Yeah.
by all means, but so going into the Black Keys were exactly what I was expecting and more. And I know I said that. I'm full of cliches tonight, everybody. I apologize for my clichéness, but that's just me.
Hey, it is a
Uh,
rock and roll show, so make sure you have about 3 Spinal Tap moments. You turn it to 11 at least once. Go for it,
but
bud.
but so the first of all, let me say thank you to my sister and brother-in-law who got me the tickets to see the Black Keys for my birthday. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So Susie Clay, thank you very much. With that being said, so they come out in a two-piece, right? There's like this red curtain, and it's just the drummer and the guitar player, because that's exactly who they are. The Black Keys are a two-piece, essentially. Everybody else in the band, we don't know about yet until we open up the curtain. So they played like a couple of songs and they're freaking just jamming out, and everybody's perfectly happy with the two-piece of them jamming out. And then all of a sudden they freaking open up the curtain and there's the rest of the quote unquote hired guns to fill out the rest of the sound. But we are talking a wall of sound. We got a bass player, we got three freaking guitar players, very much like Heart, three guitar players, and you got the drummer, and the drummer's actually in the front with the um, with the lead singer, lead guitar player. Everybody else is on the side, but which is kind of different for most bands because everybody knows the drummer usually sits in the back, and
That's
that's
me.
usually they usually stick me, the bass player, at the microphone that doesn't work. That was always the joke between me and my friend Steve is I'm stuck with the microphone that doesn't work. But anyways, just kind of like now, my microphone doesn't seem to work all the time. But
Amazing how that joke
no,
just keeps going, isn't it?
it will continue to go until I die, and they'll stick a non-working microphone in my casket.
So this is actually on one of Sammy Hagar's live albums now that he's been playing with Michael Anthony and Vic Johnson and John Bonham's son, Jason. They was one of the live albums where it's like, oh, you want to say something, Jason? And he goes, oh, too bad we took your microphone away before the rehearsal started. So I guess he throws him a microphone, and he goes, well, nobody can understand you anyway, so here you go, British. It was classic. But to your point, the drummer is never with a microphone.
Right. It's just like, and well, not necessarily.
Unless you're Phil Collins.
And Neil Peart.
And Neil Peart. So very rarely then. How's that?
But no, I mean, seriously, the solos, oh my God, they were trading solos back and forth, man. And I wish you were there, man, because you like the Black Keys and you appreciate. You would have been like, dude, but it was very reminiscent of early the beginning of the concert was very reminiscent of early White Stripes. The two-piece, you had Meg and Jack, but to me that's what it was like. It's just like very, very tight. Everything was tight. You can tell that they put that show on and they love what they do. It's a horrible thing that they're from Ohio. That's right. Football season's out and Ohio State sucks. Thank you.
There it is. Tell me how you really feel about it.
Go blue. Go blue.
Oh, jeez.
But hey, the Black Keys are from Ohio, and there's something that's one thing that's good from Ohio. The Black Keys.
Oh, too funny. So
I'll try to keep all of the Ohio State hatred to a minimum during our shows, but it is football season, and I am a Michigan guy, so there
is that.
public service announcement is done.
Yeah, and all I know about college football is that Syracuse still has a team. So, anyways, on that note, Tommy, is there anything else you'd like to add about the last bits of your shows? Any fun questions you would like to ask? Because we are getting near the end of the hour here.
So I gotta say, good or bad, live music is always good. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but live music is always good. Go and support music. Go and support these artists because that's exactly what they are. They are artists, and they are out there. Sometimes they're still grinding, and I know what it's like to be a musician. Craig knows what it's like to be a musician out there, and not necessarily doing it to for a living, but doing it because it's the love of playing and the love of music and stuff. So by all means, if you turn on the radio, go and see a band. Go support local music. It's good. But again, like I mentioned earlier, we saw Def Leppard back in July with Collective Soul. Def Leppard they just always get good. They're always better than they were the year before because they know their limitations. They're still freaking dead on tight musicians. Granted, they've been playing these songs for freaking decades. But they still come out with brand new albums too. They're not like some of these other artists from that same era that just rest on their laurels and play, the same songs over and over again. They still put out new albums. And to me, they put out those albums for people like me who are true fans who will consume it just like we consume all of the, Star Wars stuff that Disney puts out. But either way, but there is that. So, but no, that's really all I got, man. I got to tell you, Billy Idol, Joan Jett, fucking fantastic show. Heart, and if you're listening, which you're probably not, but if you are, and Nancy, fantastic show. Loved every moment of it. And wish it didn't stop, but you know what? If you're gonna keep doing it, I would love to see it again. So by all means, keep on with the keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it. Todd Rundgren, get somebody else to sing the songs. You can still play guitar, but get somebody else to sing those songs because it's a little rough. I don't want to remember me. I'm sorry. That's a reference to the song, by the way.
Yeah.
and Black Keys, Gary Clark Jr., fucking phenomenal. Blues rock all day long. I can live and say you got to do it. You got to do it. Just go and see it. Go and see it.
Yep. No, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna have to look him up at some point again too, because the only other concert / whatever the heck I got going on here is on September 20th. I'm going to see Gabriel Iglesias at the Rochester Blue Cross Arena. So it's fluffy.
Nice.
So I love my stand up, and I can't let the missus miss out on that one again.
So you got any shameless self plugs before I throw out mine?
I have a shameless self-promotion for the Jaybird Watching podcast. Make sure you check out this past week's episode. We had the voice of the Buffalo Bisons on telling us some wonderful stories, including, if you did not know this about your Western New York history, the movie The Natural with Robert Redford was actually filmed at the old War Memorial Stadium in Buffalo, New York. Not
really?
Yes, it was 100% done because it was the right period of check out the episode. He had a great conversation on it. I knew he knew that story because that was one of the stories he told when I met him in person at a few Buffalo Bison things a few years ago. It was a great story. Plus, we got to hear all about all these young Blue Jay players that have come up through the system and helped this team be a first place team. Knock on desk, that stays good because it's the Yankees and the Red Sox are nipping at our heels. And not this coming week, but the week after, I had this wonderful woman that is on TikTok doing great baseball content. And I cannot say enough good things about her, but it's Brooke Noseball. Check her out. She is incredibly talented. She's going to make it in this world of baseball at some point in the near future. I have a strange feeling, and she's very talented, and she's going to be on our show to goof around and talk all things Blue Jays baseball with us.
Outstanding. Brooke, so it's Brooke Knows. I think I might follow her. I think I might follow her because every time somebody comes up on the Instagram page, they also tend to show up on my personal page. So every time I was like, okay, they're Jaybird, so I'm gonna follow and get that fan base.
I don't know how she collects all these baseball stories, Tommy. It's insane. I'm a wealth of these baseball stories, and she's making me think of some of these ones. Like, wow, I haven't heard that one in a long time, or I haven't heard that one even. Anyway, go.
So that's, you know what? We're going to go a little bit over because this is something that Craig and I have talked about, and we are going to start doing. We are going to do a subscribership giveaway. So if we can reach a certain amount of subscribers to our YouTube
Instagram
page,
will be the best
our
one
Instagram
first.
page, and also on the other podcast platforms, we will be giving away certain items. And I have some items some tasty items that people may want. So we're going to run the gambit. I have
it could just be things like this Wayne's World sign, even. You never know.
The Wayne's World sign, yes. But I have some action figures that I, from my own personal collection, that I am willing to part with, just because we want to do that. Please support us, and we will support you, kind of thing.
It'll be the like, share, subscribe variety. So make sure you check that out.
Subscribe variety. But we will let you know what the item is, and we will pick a random fan of ours to receive that item. Again, this is just to boost the viewership and to also get it out there. And we're going to have more guests on. We want to go back to the idea of that we originally came up with. This is interviewing people and revisiting some of the people that we've already talked to, because we got Gene, who's been around, we got Tim, who's been around a few times, we got Kate the Great. We want to bring some other people out there. So by all means, if you have an idea for a show, we would like you to be a part of the show.
Yeah, we also are going to start going out and doing some more remote things like we've been doing at the Comic-Cons, or not Comic-Con, anime conventions and things like that. So we're going to be out wandering around in the wild, goofing around with everybody we can get our, microphone up to. So make sure you keep out, checking us out on social media and everything like that, so you can keep the idea of where we might be. But Tommy and I have, like I said, wrote down a bunch of things that we are planning on doing, and we're going to start with those giveaways, and we're going to start doing those in probably the near future. We're going to get a little brain meld here together after Tommy gets some things moving into boxes and whatnot for his move, and then we're going to start putting that up, and we're probably going to start with the Instagram stuff because we already have a pretty good following up there, and a 500 follower giveaway sounds pretty easy right now. So please hit over there and like, share, subscribe any of our content and get us entered, and we'll put an official post up with that gift that you'll be able to comment in on and get going on and have a chance to win it. So check that out in the very near future.
And I just there might be some things that might be very interesting for you to
interesting indeed.
Indeed.
Excellent.
So and then there's also some supplemental content that I'm looking to do, as far as just like some silly stuff like collecting with Tommy and stuff like that, just things that we're toying with, because we want to
baseball cards are coming back again, just saying.
Baseball cards. I can see it. Wait, this way. Wait, which way am I pointing?
You're going right. You're good.
Okay. Oh, there it is. There it is. I was like, the delay behind me, so I was just trying to see where the camera's at. Anyways, because of
What
looking
is
at
on
you,
your
you're over that
screen
way.
is how it is on the other one, bud.
So, anyways, but yeah, we want to put out some more content out there. So I might actually do some Instagram lives, and I may pull some people in with me, just to talk about anything and everything. Again, we will not get political on this show. Even though every once in a while we might throw in a little bit of a political jab.
It's
But
usually a joke.
either way, we want to keep this show light. We want to keep our content light, and we want it to be a good and safe environment for everybody to be at.
Fun, safe place.
Fun, safe place. So, lastly, I will do my shameless self plugs. Again, everybody knows I am the current. I am the current dance master of the Flint Hill Dance Troupe at Genesee Country Village and Museum, and we just got done with Fiddle and Folk, which was a blast. We did some stuff with our friends at Country Dance Rochester, also known as CDR. So we're looking to do more of that. So again, if you all have any inclination of doing any type of contra dance, if you ever heard of contra dance, go and see my friends at Country Dance of Rochester, Country Dancers of Rochester, and they do a contra dance every Thursday night, and we may be going over there a few times to learn some of the modern versions of the dances that we do, which our dances are 19th century. But anyways, Spirits of the Past is coming up in October. So if you're in the Rochester area or surrounding areas and you want to go and see some historically accurate spookiness, it's not like a haunted hayride. So don't go out there expecting chainsaws and stuff like that. This is like people in very dress doing, historically accurate spooky things, so it's a good time for everyone. I assure you, I've done it for several years now. It's very fun. And it's good for the kids, so come on out. You're not going to see chainsaw killer people, but you may get scared. And then obviously Yuletide is coming up in December. I know this is way out of there right now, why we're talking about that, but it's just because. And again, for the Flint Hill Dance Troupe, if you are interested in trying to do any type of 19th century dance and come and learn some dances, there's never an obligation to perform. Just come out and have some fun. We meet every first and third Tuesday of the month, of every month, at the Genesee Country Village and Museum at the meeting center. That's the red building that's right there in the front as soon as you turn in. And we'd love to come and see you. So we again, it's for every first and third Tuesday of every month from 7 to 8:30. Come out and have a good time and learn some dance. That's what it is. But right now, that's pretty much all I got right now. So thanks, guys.
All right. On that note, Tommy, obviously we'll talk for a couple seconds after this show, but thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for dealing with the shenanigans that were going on TikTok. I only figured it out for like the last 30 minutes. I appreciate everybody that did pop in on there for the first time on this show. We greatly appreciate you on wherever you happen to be listening in. And if you do miss us during the live show, make sure you listen in wherever you get your podcasting pleasures along with YouTube. Cheers. And we hope you have a great day. Cheers.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.